Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, with the new season upon us, we have to talk about, of course, Tri-brigade Spright. This is my favorite deck and my favorite two archetypes in the game, so yeah, this is, of course, something that we're going to talk about. Also, I think it is heavily underrated, more specifically just Spright in general. I think it's heavily underrated, mostly due to the fact that I think people just ignore it. It was pretty bad for a while. It's now pretty good once again. Mostly due to the fact that the consistency cards are back, and they still have access to Elf, which is crazy. So let's quickly go over the card by card and the explanation. Starting off with the Tri-brigade monsters, we're running 2 Nerval. Search is a card. Fantastic. We're playing 3 Kit. This is pretty much the best card in this deck, and the main reason for it is because it gets you your full Tri-brigade combo and pairs extremely well with the Sprites. So it's a 2, it's a fire, it's really good. And it being a fire does matter because of Mannequin Cat, which we'll talk about later. We have 2 Karos. This card is too bricky to be playing 3 of, but the fact that it's a 2 is very important, so of course we are playing 2 of it at the very least. We then, of course, are playing 3 Fractal as well, and the main reason for this is because it does the full Tri-brigade line by itself, which is great. So, yeah, that's the main reason for it. And then we are playing the 1 Revolt to search off of the Bearbrum, which is just strong overall. It's also not bad to draw, especially if you see it paired with like a Fractal or a Kit or something along those lines. Then we are playing a small Nimble package just to get us additional 2s and to have a great target for Sprind to send. So we're playing the 1 Angler, the 1 Beaver, and the 1 Momonga, and just praying that we don't draw them. And then we are, of course, playing a lot of Sprites. We're playing 2 blue, because it's limited to 2. We would play 3 if we could. We're playing 2 jet, again, similar reasons. Then 1 piece of red and carrot. Search a monster, search a spell trap, negate a monster, negate a spell trap. And free specials. Of course, they're fantastic. And then, of course, we are playing the 3 Spright starter, the 1 Gamma Burst, and the 1 Smasher. Yeah, just being able to special summon is very, very strong, and is a, well, great starter for the deck. We're also playing the 1 Gamma Burst for OTK purposes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really, really important, and has come up quite often, so I wouldn't cut this. And then the Smashers, obviously, it's generally like 99% of the time what we're searching off of Jet, because if we need to, it is the card that gets us our end board, right? If you're just relying on like carrot and red, your end board is significantly weaker. Smashers is insane. So most of the time we're searching this. And then the rest of the cards are just staples. 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, 2 Imperm, 1 Cross Out, 2 Called By, 3 Droplet, which happens to be very good in this deck due to the fact that Nerval and Kit both trigger their effects after being sent off of the Droplet, so that's very strong. We also have the 1 Foolish Burial, again, sending cards, very good. And then the 2 Triple Tack as well, to kind of close things out. And as for the extra deck is pretty tight. There's only 1 real flex spot. You could technically say Axis Kotakar is a flex spot. This could technically be anything else, but realistically, I think you just need something to like help OTK, and specifically get over 3,000 attack points, which is very important. So there's that. But Shureg, technically you could play 1. I think it's not really worthwhile playing 1, but technically this could be like Pit Knight early or another Gigantic or something along those lines. But everything else is pretty much mandatory. Speaking of which, the first one, Mannequin Cat, absolutely mandatory. This card is insane for a myriad of reasons. It gets you combo pieces, it plays through interactions, it specifically what it is in here for is turning a blue and a jet, or pretty much any 2 Spright monsters, into a beast, to allow you to use it as link material after utilizing your Tri-brigade monsters. So once you're locked with the Tri-brigades, you can then make Mannequin Cat, and then you can use Mannequin Cat as link material and send it to the grave, which is great. Then we have a Gigantic Spright, obviously, for summoning a 2. Pretty simple. We have the Almirage to link off these guys. We have the IP Masquerena and the SP as part of the end board that we can potentially go for, as it's a 2. We have Double Dragonlord Oath as well. Double Dragonlord into Warrior, whatever. This guy, DDL, which is very good if you have the extra material. But yeah, just a solid card. Being able to bounce a card is pretty good. We then have a Ferrigite and a Bearbrum for our Tri-brigade monsters, special summoning, and searching the Revolt. Very, very strong. We have 2 Elf. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Elf's crazy. We have the 1 Sprint. Sprint is very important. It allows you to play through additional hand traps, and notably, it does have an effect on field that is very useful, especially with Mannequin Cat, because oftentimes you're not utilizing Mannequin Cat's materials very effectively, so being able to, like, sprint into, or, like, sprint with Mannequin Cat means that you can, like, bounce an additional card, which is really, really nice. We also are playing 1/3 that we can go into, 1 Tri-type 3 that we can go into with, which is Rugal. It's just a 3, basically. However, it does have the best effect. So, there's that. You could potentially also play Doom Eagle, which is not terrible, but it's not nearly as good. We're playing Axis Kotaker, as I mentioned previously, and then Shureg as well. We're playing 2 of it. The main reason we're playing 2 is because there are times where being able to banish 4, summon Shureg, link Shureg off, and then search a 2, or search another Beast Warrior Winged Beast is very, very useful. So, lots of times where that's useful. And then on top of that, just it is a very, very solid effect. So, why not have 2? It helps close out games and stuff like that very effectively. Anyway, let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going first, and our hand is pretty good. Let's see what we can do. And Shifter. Yeah, hate to see it. Well, I mean, Shifter is not the end of the world for us, which is one of the reasons why the Spright cards are so good. But yeah, so we're going to start out here. We're going to go normal summon Kit and then just special summon a bunch of guys. Special summon Jet grabs starter here. That may seem weird, but I kind of guessed that they had Gamma or something along those lines. So out comes the Gamma. We're going to go for the blue here with the Spright starter and then grab up a red. Special summon the red. You just keep the Foolish Burial, obviously. They have 4 cards. Potentially we don't die. Potentially. And out comes Pydra. I'm like, okay. They also thought a really long time about that normal summon, so I was like, okay, feels pretty safe. They're going to go to combat and activate Kaimin. I'm like, okay. Alright. As long as they don't have Ash Blossom, we should be okay. As long as they don't have Ash, we should be okay. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, never mind. Ash doesn't matter. Hooray! So we're going to go for the Nimble Angler here. Kit may have been better here. I may have goofed. Anyway, I go for the Elf here. After the Nimble Angler. We're going to special summon the guy, but Elf gets negated. I can't do anything because we've already used our 1 Gigantic, so yeah, I'm just kind of hoping and praying that they don't have anything. I am going to special summon here. Is there a reason for that? No, not necessarily, but I do it anyway. And yeah, they just walk over the field. I gained 1,000, which is like not terrible, but they didn't have anything. Out comes Seal. Okay. We have potential here. We have a potential to win this game. They didn't have anything. Pydra was not engraved, so they couldn't summon it off of the Fadra. We're looking pretty good. And we draw a Kit, which, again, the best card here. We're going to go to combat. We're going to walk over with Carrot. Now, this may be dangerous. They go for Pydra here, which I don't understand why they go for Pydra as opposed to Magnemite, but okay. I guess they were scared of, like, Imperm or something. Anyway, not really that big of a deal. We're going to go for the Kit here. We're going to activate its effect. And then go into our Mannequin Cat here. Again, stick with me. Mannequin Cat is crazy. We also have a Ferrogy, which is important. But notably, we get to detach the Kit and then special summon the Shifter to the field and then target Shifter. And if you don't know what Mannequin Cat does, let me real quick read it to you. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while you control this monster, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Doesn't have to be the monster that was special summoned. Special summon a monster of the same type, attribute, same type or attribute from your hand, deck, or grave. Now, notably, what attribute is Shifter? That's right, it's a dark. Which means... Hold on, Kid is going to send Nerval first. Which means we can summon blue. Crazy! Yeah, Mannequin Cat is an insane card. Play it. Anyway, we grab Jet grabs Smashers. Then we're going to go into the Elf here and activate the effect. Doesn't really matter. My opponent just concedes. Yeah, I get full combo there. And nice Shifter. Alright, so here we are going first. And not exactly the greatest of hands. A singular Ash Blossom pretty much kills us unless the triple attack resolves. But alas, my opponent doesn't have anything. I'm just going to show you how to kind of pilot this as best as you can. So we go for the Karos here, right? Search Karos with Nerval. But since we already have the second Nerval in hand, we're going to go for the Fairy Sheet, special summon the Nerval, and then activate, or go into Sprint. And Sprint's going to get us into all of our Spright stuff pretty effectively. I'm also going to draw into the red, and I see that they don't really have anything, so I'm just like, I'm going to keep the red. Red is really good here. So we send the Angler, and Angler is going to then go into the Beaver and the Momonga, which will then translate into Gigantic. Now, notably, Gigantic is stuck on the field. Why? Because we've already used a Tri-brigade effect, right? An on-field Tri-brigade effect, which means, realistically, that guy's just kind of stuck there. So maybe we can do something with that, maybe not. We're going to go blue, grab Jet. Jet is then going to special summon itself and grab Smashers. Again, always grabbing Smashers. It's just way too good. Here we go for the Mannequin Cat, just, again, to put it into a beast. We don't really have room, so I was like, okay, this is kind of our best option. Or I could have activated the Almirage and, like, yeah, anyway, these guys are going to be converted into Mannequin Cat. Anyway, so there's that. We then special summon the DDL, and then link off into Elf. Elf is then going to bring back the kit, and as we special summon the red, and then we just set one and pass. And we have Maxi as well, which is pretty good. Anyway, out comes the Lava Golem. I'm going to activate the Maxi. They're going to activate the Called By. Okay, fair enough. Also, why didn't I activate the Maxi earlier? Well, because you can dodge Called By if you have the Elf. So, had we Elf, we would have been able to dodge there, which is pretty interesting. I guess I wouldn't have, because I wouldn't have had any cards on field, but it's fine. Not a big of a deal. Anyway, at this point, my opponent goes for the King Sark, pitching a card, and I'm like, cool. Out comes the Smasher. This is why Smasher is so useful, right? So we just banish that, and my opponent concedes. To be fair, we could have also bounced it, right? They pitch a card, we bounce it. But, like, obviously they could just activate it again, but anyway, good game. Alright, I really hope you stuck around for this game, because I'm going to show you genuinely what makes this deck so impressive. So, we're going to start off here, looking at this hand, and just oozing in confidence, because this hand is godlike. Anyway, we're going to grab the Karos here, normal summon kit, special summon blue, and get Valor. Alright. Good to know. Fairly good hand trap there. We're going to go for the kit effect. Get Valored number 2. Interesting. Okay. We're going to link off here into Sprint. We're going to activate the Sprint effect and get Ashed. Alright, not great, but we can make this work. We're going to go for the Karos here. We're going to manage 2 and get Impermed. Alright. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go Gigantic here and activate the effect of Gigantic. Grab Jet. Jet effect is going to grab Smashers, and then we're going to link those off into Elfin. Looks like they are out of hand traps. That's right, baby! 4 hand traps, and we still gets to end on all of this. Now, I go for the Mannequin Cat here, and I forget that I'm 2 locked, because I saw the Ash in their grave, and I was like, I could go Ash, or I could go target Ash, special summon it, and then target it and special summon Carrot, or Red. I already special summoned Carrot. I goofed. That was just on me. That's my bad. But that's okay, because we still have Smashers, and we have the ability to Mannequin Cat, so I'm not really that too worried here. I am immediately going to go, however, into Sprint. Now, I know what you're saying. Sprint? Why the hell are we making Sprint? What are we doing with Sprint? Remember, Sprint has a second effect. Right, if another monster is special summon detached material from an XYZ monster, target a monster on the field, return it to the hand. Notably, doesn't have to be the monster that's special summoned, but you can target the monster that was special summoned. Keep that in mind. Sprint is crazy. We're going to go for the Sprint here. And we have Mannequin Cat for follow-up, so I'm not really too concerned about keeping this elf around. And I know they're going to go for the Song and Summoning. They could have gone for Kaiman if they already had Song and Summoning, but they would have activated that. And I'm going to allow this search to resolve, because I know they're going to go for the Chandra. And out comes the Chandra. And I'm like, cool, fantastic. I'm going to do this right now. So we're going to go for the Smashers here. And I know what you're saying. Hydra's unaffected. Why would we do this? Well, because we're going to banish the Song and Summoning, obviously. You knew that. You know I was going to do that. But as soon as this guy gets special summoned, we get to bounce him, as well as trigger our own Mannequin Cat to special summon a guy. Now, I do end up special summoning Red here. I did also goof in well, no, yeah, I just summoned Red here, right? I could have detached Kit there, which would have been a little bit better, because actually it wouldn't have mattered because we already had the Nerval in grave. But yeah, they walk off the field, and my opponent doesn't realize it yet, but they are dead. We draw Revolt, doesn't matter. We're going to special summon it back their Ash, and then target their Hydra, because it's funny, and send with the, the Fractal, to grab up the Fractal, and yeah, that game's over. Good game. All right, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is still very, very strong. And yeah, its end boards are very impressive. Especially being able to play through so many hand traps as effectively as they do makes it very strong. Now, with that being said, it is a little bit more susceptible to board breakers than it is to hand traps. It can play through hand traps pretty effectively, except for Maxi. Maxi just absolutely cooks us, and we are sad about that. Hate to say it. But, alas, that's why we're playing literally like every out to Maxi, except for Gamma, because Gamma's not really all that great. At least in this deck. Anyway, beside the point. With that being said, I also think that this deck is not, like, the best. Obviously, right? I'm not, like, singing its praises and being like, this is the best deck, you should be playing this. How is no one playing this? But I do think that it has the merit of, like, ending on such a strong board through hand traps. And I think a lot of Tenpai players are specifically cutting down on board breakers and playing more hand traps, at least from what I've seen. I've also seen a lot less like back row removal, which does make this deck a little bit better due to smashers being so powerful in this deck. So stuff like that. Just like having the ability to like search out those spell trap interactions as well as monster interactions is very strong. Having both a monster and a spell trap negate is also very powerful. And then of course like being able to play like Forbidden Droplet and some of the more powerful hand traps as well is pretty strong against the current metagame. Now, with that being said, it's not like the greatest, because people can just kind of like wombo combo into an FTK basically. But yeah, for the most part, still a solid deck, very powerful, ends on lots of interactions and lots of varied interactions as well. It's not just like negate, negate, negate on like a singular monster. It's like, here's a bunch of smaller guys that do smaller things that you can't just deal with like a singular card. So if you were to like if your opponent were to droplet you, you're probably still having 1 to 2 cards live, which is great, especially right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.